love teaching. I love my kids. I love these students. They're great.
So I love what I do. I love watching kids go, I got it. That aha moment. There's nothing greater in the world. I've got chills right now.
And I think as a school, what makes me passionate about being a principal is we can kind of help direct the effort to really make school an exciting place, a place where we care about kids, a place where we try to find that spark, that passion, and try to direct it in a positive way.
See your strengths, and those are the ones that you're like, okay, keep doing that. And the other ones, it's room for growth, and there is always room for growth. It's a journey, not a destination,
The children are the ones that are benefiting from this teacher evaluation more than anybody else.
As a teacher, I like to get feedback. I like to know what I'm doing well and what I'm not doing well. And this new system provides that opportunity to say, these are the things you do really well, and you do this at an expected level. However, here's what we need you to do to be excellent at this.
Evaluation system is just, I think it's wonderful just because it gives me a place where I know I need to start and I have expectations.
Yes, ma'am, and it's
and
black
I can
and
get
white.
better and better.
It is laid out for you how to do it. I mean, there's no color in there. It is black or white. You either do it or you don't.
And the message that I had to my teachers was, take this model and embrace it. Use it to make yourself a better teacher. Don't worry about the formative side or the assessment side, because the results will show if you embrace what's happening in your classroom by improving yourself in each of these areas of the rubric, then that part will follow.
Because I've got tons of room for improvement. I mean, I'm a new teacher, fairly new, 7 years. But it was evident that, I didn't have my standard on the board and reference the standard. It was evident that I had forgotten to connect it to the real world, when I first started my lesson. So, it was pretty cut and dry on where I needed help and what I needed to look at, and then where I was doing okay that I just needed to continue to, grow in that area too. But it was very clear, a lot more clear than the old evaluations on where I was at and how I could do better.
And I think many people would say that if we had used the rubric of the old evaluation framework and made it everyday user-friendly, that it would have been a good rubric. It wasn't that it didn't have the guts of being a useful tool, but it was the way that the tool was implemented, which was, again, that checklist, summative, once only every 5 years, and if you had it more often than that, it was seen as a punitive measure, not as a developmental measure.
So that you can see what your strengths are, and so that you can talk about where you need to grow. With the rubric being as specific as it is, there's a lot of areas that you can really talk about. This is where you're good, this is where you need to work on. And then they come back in repeatedly to help and see if you have worked on it, or to see if you still need to put more attention on a specific area.
That there's just going to be all this oversight and it's going to cramp my style, basically, is what my fear was. And what I found more was that the evaluation model gave me an opportunity to take some risks with the rubric backing that up.
It's not a gotcha. It is just a tool to make you a better teacher, a tool to make me a better observer and an administrator. Teaching is teaching. It's just a different way of presenting what you teach, a more detailed way in presenting what you teach, and it's a good tool to bring out those details.
I'm really excited about is the fact that it really is a very detailed rubric, and that it speaks to, begins with a definition of what good teaching looks like, and gives a great deal of specificity to our teachers around what that looks like, and provides a common language to our teachers about how to make sure that they can talk about that with not only with the folks who evaluate them and observe them, but with their peers and their colleagues.
The potential is that those kids are going to meet those benchmarks and exceed those benchmarks, and leave this building to go to that school fully prepared. So, and that's our goal. We have a very clear goal, and this is going to help us meet all those high expectations. We're expecting these kids to do so much more now than ever before. So we're going to have to, raise our standards as well.
As a teacher, the evaluation is going to give you the self-reflection. It's going to give you tools to become a better teacher. And, in the end result, the children are going to be the biggest, benefit. They're going to benefit from it.
It helps us to reflect, and it helps me to be the best teacher that I can be. And that is my ultimate goal, because I want to be the best I can be for my children, and so that they can ultimately learn and grow and be the best that they can be. And if I provide that environment, it shouldn't matter if I'm being evaluated or not. I'm going to have that environment in my classroom that's going to be a wonderful classroom environment, that I'm going to be able to have ownership of their learning and all of those things that just make it a fun environment for children to learn.